another day in the month of August, which is the second day, and I'm saying a good morning to everyone watching us from every nook and cranny you're watching from. It's another interesting package of a program which we call Newspaper Headline from New Darling Station, VGI TV Currents. It's a beautiful, cool morning, let me say, as the cold is a bit on everyone in Abeokuta, capital of Ogun State. My name is Morire Rabila. Well, as usually, I'm having the Punch newspaper with me. Good morning, Ike.
Good morning, Morire Rabila. How was the night?
Good.
Well, once again, I welcome everyone across the globe to this morning paper review. My name is Ige or Lalikon, and it has been a pleasure to welcome you to BGI TV Current for the dailies today. So you sit tight and go through with us as we take you through the dailies for this morning. With me here, I have the Vanguard newspaper and Nigerian Tribune. Morire,
the nationwide strike is what we should be talking about concerning the subsidy talks which the labor union, but the TUC and NLC have been talking about it, that yes, they are going to have a national or nationwide protest. Right now, I think about 30 minutes ago, it's ongoing in Lagos State. Maybe other states could join. So let's go into the business proper. Tinubu sent second ministerial list today. And the next one, direct interventions in power sector hits 7 trillion naira FG. And coming from Niger, Republic, Russia, Burkina Faso, Mali oppose ECOWAS military intervention. And the major one on the Punch newspaper, which centers in on the page of the Punch, Labour shuns FG, begins protest as oil workers down tools. And another tragic one which happened yesterday as an helicopter dropped from the sky and crashed. But from findings and stories so far, there is no death, but people got injured. And it's on a sad one. FG orders probe as test flight plane crashes on Lagos Road. It actually crashed on one of the roads in Lagos State, but thank God there was no gridlock, because if there were gridlock, definitely it would be so disastrous than that. And moving on to the next one, 500 illegal carrier operators under prosecution, 9 posts. We also have another rider. Tax force officials extorts 35,000 naira from motorists on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And finally, the rider on the Punch newspaper, foreign trained doctors, mass failure worsens Nigeria's manpower crisis. These are the riders on the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's have yours, Ige.
Okay, from my own hand here, from the Nigerian Tribune, I have from the masthead, military can't handle Nigerian problem, and that is according to Agbaje, political scientist. While from another masthead angle, Nigerians raise posers over Tinubu's relief package. The bold headline for Nigerian Tribune this morning, IGP talks tough as NLC, TUC gear up for protest. And from the Vanguard newspaper, going through the masthead, I have court grants Emefiele leave to serve DSS DG order transferring him to prison after bail. Then I also have Tinubu, court reserve judgment on Atiku's obese petition. And the bold headline here I have, NLC insists on protest as talks fail. I'm taking you through the dailies for this morning. Let us go into the body of the news and see what we have. From the Nigerian Tribune, just like I told you that we have the headline that federal government, let me take you through this. We said NLC insists on protest as talks fail. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has insisted that today's protest against fuel subsidy removal would hold as talks with the federal government on short-term palliative collapses yesterday. This came as the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, warned that police would not tolerate any violence protests called by the NLC and Trade Union Congress, TUC. The federal government had at yesterday's meeting of Presidential Steering Committee on Palliative pleaded with Labour to shift the planned protest, saying it was doing everything possible to address its concern. Morire, the federal government is telling the NLC and TUC to hold on, that they are working on how to resolve the issue of all the challenges, the complicated issue in the country. What can you say about that?
And we all know that there is hardship on Nigerians, and it is not expected, but rather we should face the reality that it is happening. Because we all felt like there's going to be a drastic change, and Nigerians should enjoy the dividends of voting Bola Ahmed Tinubu into power as the president. And since his emergence as president and drastic measures and policies which he has been doing, it's going to take some time before we have a good result as regards that. And I laugh when NLC and TUC disagrees with the FG that they can't have any patience any longer. Reason being that if you choose to have these nationwide protests,
Okay.
what are the security on ground to safeguard this protest from we having another protest which the hoodlums may hijack and make it turn out to be similar to NSAS protests in Lagos, and later became a tragic occurrence where the government of Lagos State have failed so many negotiations by keeping some facts and truth from the people. Now, if truly Nigerian police wants to work, and I want to reassure Nigerians that under the leadership of Betokun, if I'm correct, the new police boss,
Inspector General of Police.
Inspector General of Police, definitely, he said something yesterday that Nigeria police personnel will be on ground, and they wouldn't tolerate any hoodlum trying to hijack these labor protests, which begins today. I think in Lagos now, it's almost like 40 minutes ago, thereabouts. So if the FG is telling them to calm down, to relax, definitely there is something the FG is working on. But the unions wants an immediate response and payment and increments from their demands and the likes of it. But my question to the presidents of both union, both the TUC and the NLC, is that are they truly protesting these calls, these demands, these cries, these agitations on a platter of honesty and sincerity? Take the look of when President Buhari, former President Buhari, was there, and before employing the likes of this human rights lawyer, what's his name
Femi
again?
Falana.
No, not even Femi Falana.
Is
This Minister of State that used to be a human rights activist lawyer.
Okay, Festus Keyamo. Okay.
You know, he kept on yearning for less privileged, voiceless, hopeless, until appointments. And he became a thorn in the flesh of the people he was speaking for, or he used to speak for. Right now, if truly Ajaero and his counterpart from TUC are honest, this protest will go so calmly without any hijacking from the hoodlums.
Okay, go no from the hoodlums. Right now, if you are just joining us, this is BGI TV Current. You can always like us, you subscribe, and you share our views. Now, let's go on to the next. From the Vanguard newspaper, I have this. Tinubu, court reserves judgment on article Obi's petition. The Presidential Electoral Petition Court, PEPC, sitting in Abuja yesterday, reserved a judgment on petition seeking to remove President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from office. The Justice Haruna Tasmani led 5-member panel of the court okayed the cases for judgment after all the parties adopted their final brief and arguments. The two petitions marked CAR PEPC/5/2023 and CAR PEPC/3/2023 were brought before the court by former Vice President and candidate of People's Democratic Party (PDP), Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, as well as the candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, respectively, while adopting their final written address. Atiku and the PDP, through their team of lawyers led by Chief Chris Uche San, urged the court to declare that President Tinubu was not qualified to contest the presidential poll that aired on February 25th. They prayed the court to nullify the entire outcome of the presidential election and order run a fresh contest. Morire, looking at this, do we say that the former Vice President and Peter Obi, they are still in their dream, or they are facing the reality that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now the elected president of Nigeria?
We cannot say living their dreams or reality because the court has not decided yet, and they have the constitutional rights to go to court if they are not convinced with the outcome of the February 25th presidential election. And so to say, like, let me make a reference to our last guest on the program.
Okay.
He talked about they are only agitating because they are not satisfied. And until the court pronounce its judgment, either for or against. So what they are doing is legal, it is not illegal. And when the court pronounce its judgment, then we can now say, why have they remained in illusion, or probably why have they chose that path? Remind you, and me, myself, and viewers, we all understand that they are having their constitutional rights to go to court in case they are not satisfied with the results of the presidential election. But for me, let's be honest.
Okay.
Do we need to serve Atiku for the 5th time? Which I believe it is not a normal thing. Nigerian leaders are not ashamed of themselves for the fact that you have been there before as a vice president, you have been there before as a politician, you have been there, you are there again because you're still living as a businessman. All of this wealth that you're wasting your time for, just showing off the strengths you have, the connections, the affluence, the influence you have. Why not just be a leader, just like late Nelson Mandela Madiba of South Africa? He alone made what South Africa is today. So what can we rate Atiku for or of as Nigeria is concerned? So many sufferings, so many killings, so many burning like that. If truly you have a plan, a genuine plan for Nigerians, and you contested and you didn't win, you lost the battle. I expected them to divert those resources, those money, because I see no reason why you are having money and people are still suffering within your Adamawa state and Nigeria as a whole. You know, it's just a shame that African leaders are power drunken. They are not thinking outside what they can do to the country. They are only thinking about accumulating and embracing corruption the more, embezzling, stealing these funds freely because there is no law for the sacred cows.
No law for the sacred cows. Now let's quickly take this from the Nigerian Tribune. We have this. Aircraft crash lands on roads in Ikeja. Aircraft land on road in Ikeja. And according to the update, Lagos crash, single flight jet, not helicopter. If it has been confirmed, now let's look at it from the news. It has been confirmed that the air flight that crashed into Oba Akran Road in Ikeja, Lagos State, is a light single-engine aeroplane and not an helicopter. While last month said 4 people were on board the plane, source within the aviation sector said 2 people were actually on board the crashed jet. It was a Tobon 5NQ-AJ30 registered aircraft, which was alleged to be on a test flight from the international wing of the Lagos International Airport and operated by a tour company. Morire, What do you see to this?
We can't say that exactly what we can say to this because accident is meant to happen, and accident is inevitable. We should expect that a human being with either vehicle, train, to mention a few, definitely should expect an accident. Maybe it is a mechanical fault that happened while in the air before crash landing.
Okay.
And let's just thank God that no one is confirmed dead. The information at over Akron area of Ikeja, Lagos, is that 4 people narrowly escaped death on Tuesday after a helicopter crashed in the street. And the spokesperson for the agency, Amadou Shakiru, which the agency of the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Services, confirmed the incident and said the occupants sustained varying degrees of injuries. Definitely, it has metal, it has working mechanism, and the force from the sky to hitting the ground and even tearing apart the tarred road means that only the grace of God survived the occupants of the helicopter.
And just let's thank God, like what you said the other time, that as at that point in time there was no traffic jam along the road.
Exactly.
So we should thank God no casualties as expected.
Yes.
Let's have the headlines from your own end.
All right, some headlines again from inside the Punch newspaper. Tinubu sends second ministerial list today. And coming from sports, FIFA to pay World Cup prize money directly to players. And going outside Nigeria, Niger Republic, Russia, Burkina Faso, Mali oppose ECOWAS military intervention. I see no reason why Russia could be saying ECOWAS military intervention, they are opposing it. If not for the fact that they are #1 fan of the plotters of coup in Niger Republic. And also, Nigeria, Benin will collaborate for our citizens' benefit, says Tinubu. Tinubu was with the president of Benin Republic, and they had this talk, and I think they are celebrating 63rd or 64th anniversary of the country, where President Tinubu of Nigeria was given a very large invite to serve as an executive or as there's this position. Let me just try and see what the story is. President Bola Tinubu has said that Nigeria and Benin Republic will collaborate to explore their cultures, history, and demographics for the benefit of the citizens. This is contained in a statement by the Special Advisor of the President's Special Duties Communications Strategy, Mr. Dele Alake. The President was speaking as a special guest. Yes, that's a title, because Tinubu was regarded to be a special guest to speak at the 63rd Independence Anniversary of Republic of Benin. Tinubu was actually invited by President Patrice Talon of Benin Republic. Like this, if good African leaders, good people in Africa who are leaders are working together, Africa definitely gonna have a brand new face amongst the world. That yes, fine. Imagine there was this news I ran into concerning Donald Trump, that Donald Trump is being indicted for trying to manipulate the 2020 election results in US. So people condemning the last presidential election in the country just desist from showing sentiments or for being sentimental by going against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wasn't their own choice of candidates. It is abnormally, if we remain one as a country, we should work as one citizen of that country to develop the country, not just writing petitions or writing letters that is not even expected of some people in the country. So to me, the protests which the unions are ongoing with in Lagos and possibly maybe some other states have joined now, we do not have information as regards that, is that they should protest calmly, meaningfully. They shouldn't burn or attack anyone, so as for we Nigerians not to experience another occurrence, just as the way it happened during the NSAS protest in Lagos. As regards, there's a story I just wanted to review about it. Some people attacked the choice of former governor of Kaduna State at the Senate. That's in person of Ahmed Rufai.
Okay.
I wonder why they are agitating. I think one senator from Kogi State, Kogi State senators moved against El Rufai. The lawmaker representing Kogi West Senator Sunday Karimi, during the ministerial screening on Tuesday, moved against former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El Rufai. I don't know why, but all the same, if someone is qualified, let them be selected and scrutinized. If your credentials warrant them to just give a bow, so be it. But we should stop castigating ourselves in this country because the pressure is just too high. What have you from your side?
Okay, I have this from my own end here. From the Vanguard newspaper, court grants Emefiele leave to serve DSS DG order reminding him in prison after bail. A federal high court sitting in Lagos yesterday granted the suspended Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele leave to serve the Director General, Department of State Service, DSS, Mr. Yusuf Bichi, the order of court admitting him to bail and directing his remand in the custody of the prison. Trial Judge Justice Nicholas Owebo granted the order following an expatriate application moved and argued by Emefiele's counsel, Mr. Ogbonnaya Sonuga. Now, looking at this, the issue of Emefiele has been recurring in the news almost on a daily basis. Now, don't you think, although in the newspaper yesterday, from the reports we got, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed new investigator to look into the matter of corruption in the country. But do you think, as at this point in time, that the case has not been concluded, should Emefiele be bailed, or should Emefiele be released from the court, or what is your take on that?
We can't talk about him receiving a bail or letting him go. He needs to serve and face the judgment, whatever the court later decide. And truth be told, that if truly we want to think as ordinarily, Emefiele should be investigated from all of his atrocities while serving as a CBN governor. But lastly, at the court, before the fracas that happened between the Nigeria Prison Service and the DSS, the courts ordered Emefiele should be in the custody of Nigerian Prison Service. But DSS restricted and abused that order. And it turns out to be a drama.
The fracas.
And aside that, we can't say Emefiele is getting a bail. But as the court has termed it or targeted that, yes, he has been granted bail, the only people that can say no to it is only if there is any constitutional rights why you should remain in the custody of DSS. But where many Nigerians are looking at this case of Emefiele from is that the government are not even seeing it from that angle. This is the angle. So many Nigerians died during Emefiele's dictatorship at CBN when he was the governor. And there was no charges, or there were no charges that shows that while he was in court that as regards the printing of the new currency, as regards the suspension of the old currency, as regards the money spent on printing on the new currency, and all of the policies that he went ahead to implement. And when his house was ransacked, all of the vehicles that were there, I'm just talking that, yes, Nigeria is just a laughing stock that when you're expecting something from a different angle, there will be just somewhere. Like now, you are accusing Emefiele of possession of firearms, illegal possession of firearms, and his lawyer claimed the gun is just like a Dane gun that used to be that of an olden era gun and stuff like that. Are we saying there are no evidences they can use to nail Emefiele? It's just a mockery. These things are happening. If it keeps appearing on newspaper headlines, it means yes, the DSS are not wanting him to leave their custody. And they have their reasons constitutionally.
Okay, they have their reasons constitutionally. And I will be, from my own end here, I'll be running up here. Muriri, do you have any other headlines with you there?
All right. I just have to say that we should thank God. The helicopter crash or the plane crash yesterday in Lagos, it never took anyone's life, but at least those that got injured, may the Lord give them a sound healing. And also, task force officials extort 35,000 naira from motorists on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. If anyone is watching within Ogun State and outside of the state, I want them to please take this information to the new CP and the new PRO of the Nigeria Police Command in Ogun State at Eleweron. That most task force officials and Nigeria police officials or personnel, they mostly extort drivers on this Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. In addition, on this same Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is the same road that we have all of these boys that pick and steal from people and kidnap from people. If security personnel are on this road and such evils is being perpetrated, it is just to say that are we safe in this country? And may the Lord save us in this country. Also, I would just want to urge everyone to remain calm. Nigeria will be good again. I want to say a big thank you for joining us, and until we meet again tomorrow, my name remains Rabila Lawa. But before I go, our YouTube handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all. Have access to all of our broadcasts. We cover outside job in case you want us to be there, to be your channel, to sell you out to the public. Chicken money.
Once again, it's a pleasure with us on BGI TV Current. I will say bye-bye to you. My name remains Ige or Lalekon. Wish you a lovely day ahead. Bye for now.